Hello, and welcome to our latest episode of Relatable Catholic.
Hello.
Hey everyone,
He's back.
I'm back. Ready
Maybe
for
not by
it.
choice, but
No,
yeah, you're back.
No, I
Right.
am by choice, out of my own free will. I have arrived here, bribed by food, but I'm here.
Yeah, well, I have to think it's something to like keep you coming. Although I did do something mean. I made scotcheroos, and you gave up sweets.
Did give up sweets.
Oh.
It's been actually more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Oh.
Yeah,
You could take one home for tomorrow.
that's a good point.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Sundays are mini Easters.
well, I
you heard
never-
it here.
Well, I
Yeah.
never did that. Like I
I
always
didn't either, but
I kind of go back and forth on it.
depends on how you're feeling tomorrow.
sweet tooth is feeling.
Yeah, it depends how the last few days go. If I didn't cheat, then sometimes I like to give myself a cheat day on that Easter Sunday. I mean,
That's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
Well, I mean, it's a mini Easter. Gotta celebrate.
That's right. And everybody is different in how they want to practice it, and I think that's fine too. So
I agree. If you hear something crazy in the background, and she did bring her kids.
Only two of them.
disclaimer.
Yeah. And Carl and Eliana are like besties. So
Yes, they
who knows what those two are doing upstairs. But there's that.
I've been wondering if you've been reading the Lenten Companion, the Walking with Mary to Jerusalem,
Yes.
I found mine back, and I
Okay.
read part of it.
and what's your thoughts so far?
I think it's really good. I think for me it's good because I think I'd mentioned that like I do want to have a devotion to Mary, and it's like, well, this is where this book is headed, so that's perfect.
It
Yeah,
definitely
no.
is.
I think it's been good.
The introduction was wonderful. But I have small group on Tuesday, so
Okay.
I'll have to get
You have to get,
caught up
Yeah.
before then.
but it has stuff each day. And so
Yeah, I
it
saw
asks you
that.
to pray.
Well, honestly, I forgot about it till Friday, so I missed. There's a big section on Ash Wednesday.
There is, and it
Yeah.
says spend an
So-
additional 15 minutes of your day today in prayer. Ask yourself, what do I really want from God this Lent? So you're gonna have to spend probably
Some of mine has
an
snowballed
hour.
into a little bit longer than 15
You're
minutes.
gonna need like an hour to go through catch up here, but
The introduction was wonderful, and the priest sounded very lovely.
he's
Yeah, the introduction video was good.
Oh, there's a video.
Oh.
I actually read the couple pages.
I didn't see the video. I have to check the video out.
Yvette sent the video out, everybody.
Oh, I missed that.
You
I
did
probably
check your
deleted
email,
that.
huh?
Whoops.
Yeah, I have like one thing that's stuck with me, and we don't have to talk about this, but like the question is like, who is Mary to you like right now? And I wrote that like right now, Mary is my peace. Like if I'm ever like I pray so many Hail Marys a day, like especially when I feel like a worry or like anxiety coming, like I automatically like pray Hail Mary. And also, that's what I do during basketball games. So I've been praying a lot of Hail Marys lately.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. It's not even for the team. It's for myself. Because I'm like, this is too nerve-wracking. So,
That's funny. When I really returned to the Catholic Church back in like 2007 would have been, I always pray a rosary in the morning before work and a rosary before bed. And then like I got going, I got into more like as I kept studying, I was like, oh, like this is good, but like maybe like going to mass would be good in the morning. So I started doing that, and then I dropped one of the rosaries, and then like the rosary is kind of like faded out. I think that's like a primary devotion, and I mean it does talk about that in here. But like for me, like now I kind of have a hard time doing it. This morning, the day that what they asked you to do was to pray a rosary and kind of meditate on what Mary looks like kind of like visualize her. I fell asleep. So
she's beautiful in my dreams.
Dreamy.
That's okay.
That actually makes me feel pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah, like
I mean,
human.
it's the reality. Like I want to have a deeper devotion, but like I struggle sometimes with the rosary and staying on task. It is nice to have the beads when you wake up. You're like,
Oh yeah.
here's where I was, right here.
Wow.
So just keep going.
Carry on.
That is one of my Lenten things is I want to pray a rosary every day. So I've been pretty good about it. Not like great about it.
Yeah.
Like I've been at least starting it, and whether I've finished it or the angels finished it, I don't know. But like I've at least been trying to get her started. So.
When my dad worked, he worked at the sheriff's department, he'd always say a rosary on the way home every day. I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
That's a good time to do it, you know, in the car and. keep
I
the
find
rosary.
that like I have to like actually like physically pray it. Like I can't listen to it because I won't be listening to it. Like I intend to listen to it, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Hail, Holy Queen!" I'm like, "Oh, whoops."
Yeah.
I wasn't listening at all. So I actually did yesterday. I went to adoration yesterday, and I was like, I need to incorporate. I'm going to try and incorporate the rosary in my morning prayer because the Lenten devotionals, they're good, but like they're only a couple pages. So then it's like
It adds up quickly, though.
But
Better get
yeah.
after it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, how are everyone's Lenten promises going?
Well, my girls are up on their iPads right now, but that doesn't count because I gave them special permission today to be on their iPads while we record. But I'd say we're doing fairly good.
That's good.
More
That's-
family time, more time present.
That's awesome.
And I did have conferences one of the nights too, so I missed that night. But the nights I've been there, nice.
I haven't cheated and haven't any sweets yet. I've been pretty good about praying the rosary, and then I've done some online shopping, but I haven't bought anything that isn't specifically work related. So
Good job, Father.
Yeah.
Excellent.
yeah, doing all right. So
And by Katie's hair today, she's doing awesome. Just kidding. Katie gave up doing her hair in the mornings.
Yeah.
So
It's
that she could
actually
pray.
been much harder than I anticipated
Really?
because I was like, this is going to be awesome. Kind of like an excuse. But it honestly, it really did like mess with me. Like, oh, like my hair looks terrible all day. Like it was, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I almost was like, maybe this isn't for me. Like maybe I shouldn't. But I got a couple compliments yesterday of that. But they were clearly just people who had listened to the podcast and were like, your hair looks nice. Just trying to
those
make me
people.
feel better. But as like the morning prayer, I do really, really enjoy like starting the day with morning prayer. And it's sort of like
a warm drink and do you have like a prayer spot? No.
no, that couch is the prayer spot over there. Otherwise, it's
Have
been
you
good. It's been
considered
hard, though.
getting up earlier or not?
I got up 10 minutes earlier.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But
Father, we got a lot of good feedback on our last episode about the day in the life of you.
really,
Yeah. I think there's a lot that people don't realize you do. What your day
That's-
all entails.
that's probably true. You know, I the priest that was before me at Nativity, he would write everything that he did all week in the bulletin. It was like a little diary. And I just couldn't bring
There
myself to
wouldn't be
continue
enough
that.
paper. They'd have to be like
We
an
don't have
extra
that in the budget. We
insert.
can't be adding all that paper.
It's like a scroll. You open it up, it just keeps going.
Oh yes, yeah. There's lots of things that go on, but
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we got a lot of good feedback.
Yeah.
And I think people enjoyed just learning more.
Yeah, there was a lot of good feedback, but for some reason, this last episode really did bring me a ton of anxiety, like when I was coming out.
And that brings us to our topic today, basically.
So this episode, we are going to be talking about traveling with Jesus in the desert and kind of like where we've been feeling like in the desert lately, sort of like maybe like a dryness in prayer or like sort of like being tempted by the devil. This past weekend, those were the readings where Jesus being tempted by the devil. And I think that's very like prevalent in in my life right now, especially with this podcast. Just like a lot of lies that like you're not good enough, like
False narratives.
right. Yeah.
The
That
devil.
yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today.
I think that's a good place to start. Like the devil does lie to us quite often. He lies in how we think about ourselves. I think is a huge one. He lies in how he kind of twists things and twists good things to be bad and bad things to be good, and we just kind of always have to be on guard for those things. Because the truth is, there's lots of good things that we do and we want to do, and it's easy to kind of twist that, and lie about it in certain ways that might make us second guess what we're doing or what we should be doing, or all these things. Right? There's just so many.
Yeah, for sure. There were a couple times that I was like, maybe I shouldn't even like put the podcast out this week, because I don't know. I think sorry, Father. You're my worry lately. Like all of my worries are about you. You should feel very special. That like, oh, I hope people aren't going to be mad at Father. Like, I don't know. Like, just because we talked about like changing mass times, and we talked about like how there are going to have to be some changes in, like
Our priest
churches, priest shortage, all of that. And I was like, oh gosh, like I hope people aren't going to be mad at Father. And then I don't know, like in return, then I got myself all worked up. I also, after you left on Friday, I thought maybe I had poisoned both of you two with the food. Like I couldn't sleep that night because I was like, it was really bad, because I was like, Father's got a funeral tomorrow, and like
slept like a baby.
yes. And then
poison.
it's like he's going to be late for the funeral, or he's going to be sick for the funeral, and it's going to be all my fault. And yeah, it was just,
just lies.
I know. And and
The
it just sort of like carried over.
Crafted at his, well
Yeah.
crafted.
Yeah.
Knew this for a long time.
And it just sort of like carried over. I think like, does everybody have these days where like you think everybody hates you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was definitely having.
I think
one
I'm
of
pretty
those.
delightful. Just kidding. I do have those days too.
And that's just like, I think that's where I was at on Tuesday, right before that podcast came out. I just like was just so worried, and like it's so hard when you're in it to remember that like this is not coming from the Lord. Like this is the devil. But when you're in it, you're like, no, like this is true. Like everybody's gonna hate this. Like you're not holy enough to be doing
Hard
this.
to like reason.
Yeah. So
How'd you get out of it? Right at this moment, talking it through.
No, I very much was like, no, you know what got me out of it? God got me out of it, because
Makes
he
sense.
graced us with a no school day.
And I didn't see that no school day coming. It was awesome.
Yeah. I definitely knew that I had to go back to the surrender novena. So started that every night. And that does like, there's something about that.
I love that.
Yeah. There's something about that novena that like immediately brings me peace.
Yeah, because it's not your problem anymore. Like,
Yeah, it's
wash
like-
your hands of it.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start writing prayers.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, Jesus, I surrender myself to you.
Whatevs. Whatevs you want, my Lord. My Lord. Pick me, my Lord.
But seriously,
So, yeah, no, the surrender novena, I went back to it. Yeah, and then it was Ash Wednesday, which was really nice, but I tried to remember begin again, you know, and usually my anxiety manifests in panic, but this week it was worry. So, and it was something that like I wasn't used to, because it's usually panic, not worry. So I was like, well, is the worry ever going to go away?
Yeah.
And it always does. It always does. But yeah, so it really, honestly, like through prayer and the grace that we had a day off. But
I kind of had this realization, like, because I always hear those voices that are the ones that are critical. I can hear 100 like compliments, and then I hear the one critical is the one that I dwell on. One of my priest friends I was talking to about this week, and he's like, don't let them live in your head rent free.
yeah,
Because they're just that person is just like living there and just like, ugh, and then kind of had this realization, especially through the Stations of the Cross, like, no, this is what Jesus went through. Like, this is what we're going to go through.
Yeah.
Like, he suffered persecution. He went through all these difficult things in the desert and just, went home to his home people. And they're like, who is this? We've known him since forever. Like, why is he doing all these things? And he couldn't do anything. He couldn't work any miracles there because they didn't really believe, but yet everywhere else they loved him, except for Jerusalem. But like there was all this, there's always this stuff, that we're going to go through. And like these people actually are making us holy in a way.
Yeah.
Right? They're sanctifying us because we're kind of walking the same thing, the persecutions that Jesus did. So it's gonna come. I don't know. Did I tell you about the soup and stations and the difficulty I was going through with that last week or not?
Like SOUP soup?
Soup.
Yes.
I told you about that.
So I thought you were making it. I thought you were saying soup and station. Like that's a word. That's a word I've never heard of. Soup and station. Soup and station. Soup and stations.
Stations and soup.
Yes. Yes.
And so it was really, really funny. I went back to my homily from 3 years ago, and the exact same critiques were from my old parish 3 years ago when I changed it from Tuesday night to Friday night.
Yeah.
So why? And my dad even said that, like, didn't you go through this once already? Like, didn't you know that this was going to happen? I was like, oh yeah, I guess I did. It's the same thing. It's the same critiques, even though, and there's there's this pride thing of like, oh, don't they just respect me and know that I know that what's the best thing here? Because I essentially proved it at Nativity. Like, it went from 40 people to 80 people. It increased that much, and it was like a huge thing at Nativity. So I'm like, oh, I'll do it here and it'll be easy. But then I just got the same critiques, and it was funny going back into that homily. Going, oh yeah, okay, well, nothing's gonna come easy, and it's gonna have to be this same slow process. I think that's part of it too. Is like we want this now. Especially with Jesus' temptations, they're always like shortcuts or easy ways. Like, he wanted to come and save the whole world. So here when the devil says, you can have all these kingdoms, that's an easy way to get him, right? Like, he wouldn't have had to go on the cross if he'd just done that, right? Or throw himself off the temple and let the angels catch him. Well, what a better way to prove that you're God by just letting the angels catch you? Then everybody would see that and go, oh, this guy's God. But he's still to go through all those persecutions all the way through, all the steps. And sometimes we want things so badly for ourselves or for others, like we kind of short track it, and that's not, it can't be like that.
Yeah.
So we welcome you to Stations on Friday night.
Yes. Stations of the Cross.
That is a good transition into the Stations of the Cross, because everything, like the week that I had, then we read they're St. Faustina's, right? Is that what it said?
Yeah, St. Faustina. So basically it's, St. Faustina received a bunch of revelation straight from Jesus. As she received the image of divine mercy, she also received all this revelation, and this little Stations of the Cross that we use has that in there. So it's like Jesus talking to you in it. And I've done a fair amount of stations before, but I really love this one.
Yeah, I've never heard this one before, and it was like, whoa. Every station was like, oh my, like this is it was almost like mini surrender novenas, like mini, like the reflections in the surrender novena.
Yeah.
In each one.
I really liked the ninth station. This one always gets me. Page 25.
Thanks.
My child, know that the greatest, this is Jesus talking. My child, know that the greatest obstacles to holiness are discouragement and an exaggerated anxiety. These will deprive you of the ability to practice virtue. Do not lose heart in coming for pardon, for I am always ready to forgive you. As often as you beg for it, you glorify my mercy.
Boom.
I say that's so powerful.
In your
It
face,
is.
devil.
It is so powerful, and just
Well, these stations, they go back and forth from Scripture to Saint Faustina and those revelations. So, like, Station 2 talks about like Jesus in front of Pilate. It says when the chief priests and guards saw him, they cried out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Can you imagine like Jesus, like, for the last 3 years been doing all this ministry and healing all these people and doing all these miracles, and now everybody's like, forget so quickly. Crucify him, crucify him,
and
That would hurt my feelings.
Everybody's, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I am always trying to find purpose in my suffering. Like, how can I use this suffering, or like, how can I use it for good, or like why is this happening? Like, what is God trying to tell me in the suffering? Which is really like hard. But did you read Station 2 already?
No, the station. So after the crucify him, Jesus says, "Do not be afraid of sufferings. I am with you. The more you will come to love suffering, the purer your love for me will be."
Yikes.
Yikes.
Yeah, that one's not a boom, it's a yikes. Which is, it's hard, but it's beautiful. Like, I get it, because every time I do go into like some sort of like slump or anything like that, like, I have noticed it's like, okay, God, I get it. Like, I haven't been, focused on my prayer. I haven't been, like, it's sort of like a call home, like, come back, like, let's start over. Let's get back into, our routine, our chats, our time together.
St. Faustina, Sister Faustina, responds in her diary. She says, "Jesus, I thank you for little daily crosses, for opposition to my endeavors, for the hardships of communal life," which I think family life, right? "For the misinterpretation of my intentions, for humiliations at the hands of others, for the harsh way in which we are treated, for false suspicions, for poor health and loss of strength, for self-denial, for dying to myself, for lack of recognition in everything, for the upsetting of all my plans."
Yeah.
How often do we thank God for those things? No, we don't.
Yeah.
We get so frustrated with those types of things. Me, number one, right? Like, I get frustrated, but this is why that station's so good, because you're just like, oh, yeah, I get it. I remember, like, this is what Jesus went through and what we have to go through. We jump to Station 10. Jesus says, "The bride must resemble her betrothed." It's page 27. And it's Jesus, suffering, body completely covered with wounds, eyes flooded with tears and blood, face disfigured and covered with spittle. The bride must resemble her betrothed. And so we want to be with Jesus in heaven and in his glory. Well, this is what his glory looked like on earth.
Yeah. Right.
Imagine that. This is the king. This is the glory of the king of the universe, right? That we are hearing about. Like how do we take those sufferings in stride? And I think a lot of it just comes down to loving the person that is in front of us. That's the cause of our pain.
Which is so hard. Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah.
But it's always coming from somebody, right? And how do we just love them, knowing that they don't know the full picture. They don't know what they're saying. They don't know what they're doing. They shout, "Crucify him!" Crucify him too. Like for the same things, and it's just so hard to actually stay in that mindset. I mean, like, I need to do the stations like every day.
Yeah, every hour. For me. this is a really good plug for the stations.
Yes.
It truly was, because I've never done these stations before, so it's usually like station 1. Jesus is condemned to death. And then there's usually like a little reflection, but this was just like, oh my gosh, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
So.
they rotate at different places every Friday night. So
Yeah.
you have to check the bulletin to figure out where they're at.
Yeah.
I'll try to announce it at
But there wasn't
Mass.
any soup this week.
No soup.
So
No soup for
I was
you.
really hoping for some soup. But no.
One of these nights in the future, we're gonna do it. So don't worry, there'll be soup.
Soupensation.
Soupensation.
I grant you a soupensation.
Do you like mushroom soup?
No. Well, I guess I've never had it, but I don't usually care for mushrooms.
Broccoli and cheese.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make that then.
Light on the broccoli.
Heavy on the cheese. Have you ever had cheese soup? Just
That
nacho
is a thing
cheese.
too.
I've had some good cheese soup in my day. It's true.
Cheesy potato soup. Now we're really talking.
So lots of good meatless options. So
I want to do an episode on suffer. No, I'm not talking anything about soups. I've changed the topic on suffering and offering it up and how that works.
is that a new episode, or are we talking about that right now?
That could be a new episode.
Yeah.
It's just might
Yeah.
be something in the future.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because that's something I'm not good at, because I think like I will suffer, I will offer it up, or like I guess maybe like suffering for others. That's something I'm not good
So
at.
when Kaylee Coos, my cousin, was their team had made it to state and cross country, and I was going on this run myself personally in Bellevue, and I had decided I'm going to offer up this run for them to all be able to perform their. I almost died. I think I almost died, and I never did it again.
Yeah.
It was terrible. So
Yeah.
Well,
I
running
could
is
maybe
terrible.
use some work on offering it up for others.
And Angie's mom often has like terrible headaches.
So my mom had brain surgery like almost 15 years ago, and she has 5 stents in her brain. And now, since that day, every day, all day, every second, she has a migraine, like a full-on migraine. And it's nerve damage. It's like a hot wire, like
Yeah.
all the time. And
And-
she is so good.
Yeah,
at-
she is. But like
oh, I'm so glad. She'll have like 8 ice packs on her head, and sometimes she's bedridden, and she'll be, but I'm so glad because
she
so-and-so
truly like
needs my prayers. I have a few friends that struggled having babies, and I think my mom has a big part to do with all their success stories because she's just so good at it.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that. I went on a 2-mile run and never did it again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
But sometimes I'll be like I'll be like, give me Diane's headache. Like, give her, like, peace. But then I'll be like,
Just a little
but
bit,
not too bad.
actually.
Not as bad as she has it. Just a little bit. So,
It sounds like that's the right attitude. For I mean, like
Not all of it.
No, not that piece of it, but like offering the suffering for someone else.
yeah.
right? And for other
Diane would be
people's-
a perfect person. Nobody offers up more
Yeah.
than her.
Seriously, she's a wonderful, amazing
Well, there.
woman.
Can imagine Diane on the podcast. Oh,
She'd be
boy.
so nervous.
She would be.
Father Cutie sitting here. Oh, golly.
I think part of the suffering, like we're called to pick up our cross and carry it, but I would just recommend carry it with open hands, right? So like say, Jesus, I'll carry this for you if this is my cross, but I surrender it to you if you want to take it back, give me something else
Yeah.
or nothing at all, but like, I just like, I don't want to clutch that cross. Like say, oh, like this is my only way. Sometimes we pick our crosses that way. I don't think we need to. I think we always want to have our hands open and let God choose if there are suffering to have or if it's for somebody else. So
Yeah. This week I kept picturing like I don't know, like if I've ever actually like given my suffering to Jesus. It's more like, I don't know, like I pray about it, but I was like, I don't know that I've ever like laid it at the foot of the cross. And that's just what I kept coming back to this week. But
It's good. Keep doing that. Can you relate? Are you ready to start?
yeah.
Can you relate?
Oh, I didn't know you were going to do it again.
I thought the
you
first one
said,
was good.
like,
Katie, keep that in.
Was it
Get
good?
the double. Can you relate? People can vote which one was better, one or two. I can go first because I have one. Can you relate? I like to watch a lot of crime documentaries and murder shows.
Okay.
Okay. I always say prayers for the victims in these shows and their family. They're so sad. And I always just like pray that maybe just today, right now, they can have a little like peace in their heart.
Are these like true life crime?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was just like,
SVU.
I was like, you know, that's
Please
not
pray
For all
real.
the actors and actresses. Should be a good idea too.
They probably need the prayers the most.
Anybody do that?
Nope.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
but I don't watch a lot of that stuff.
Did you watch the Gabby Petito one?
I started, but it was too sad for me, so I had to stop.
Yeah, I just can't take those things. I just, yeah.
Well, can you relate? I pray for the people in those murder shows.
That's really good.
That's
But,
nice.
well, before you say that's really good, sometimes I find myself also at the end when, like, the bad guy's caught and sentenced, I flip off the TV screen. I give him the finger.
Oh my gosh, you really get into it.
Wow.
So that maybe undoes my prayers, but, like, darn it, you. Shake my fist at them.
I think maybe you should be praying for that guy too, for the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's
person getting
probably-
sentenced.
Yeah, that probably is a lot. Yeah.
Pray for their conversion in jail.
Oh, wow.
Next level.
There you go. Next time.
You got this.
That's a lot harder to do.
It is, but I think it goes a lot to what we were just talking about too in our suffering and loving the people that cause us suffering. To pray for them is like the ultimate, right? To like want them in heaven with you, like
Yeah.
end goal heaven
Yeah.
for them too.
Yeah. Oh, I probably should want that.
I mean,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I
something
need
think
to
about.
want that.
You need to
yeah.
want that. You need to want
Huh.
that. You don't have to want that right now, but maybe like just
By tomorrow.
maybe that can be
Get
part
there.
of your Lenten promises. Maybe for Lent you can start praying for the
Murderers.
the murderers too. You know?
I know you're right, and I'm kind of like embarrassed,
Oh,
but
nothing to be embarrassed about.
so can you relate? Do you pray for the victims? And are you going to start praying for the murderers too? There we go.
That's great.
Good.
Maybe I'll start by not shaking my fist. And sometimes it just feels good though. Like you deserve that life sentence. That's right, Mister. Amen.
You suffer there. In jail.
So I got a lot of work to do. Wow.
We all do. Mine's kind of embarrassing.
Oh, worse than
perfect.
what I just said.
Well,
Yours
like,
wasn't embarrassing.
That's
It's
kind of
just-
embarrassing. The part where I.
Like, do you ever
give
like
'em-
like get invited to something, asked to do something, and you're like, I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. Like, someone asked you to go to a raccoon feed, and you're like, Are
Oh.
we really gonna eat raccoon? Apparently, we are.
that part will be over by the
I
time you
didn't
get
ask.
there, I'm sure.
I didn't ask that. I just said, sure, I'll go.
So you were invited to a raccoon feed.
Yeah.
What is a
kind of
raccoon
crazy
feed?
family would do that? Angie and I wouldn't know because ghouls aren't allowed at a
No
raccoon
ghouls at the
feed.
raccoon feed. So to clarify this, our grandpa, 92, Grandpa Coos, is having a raccoon feed, and that is exactly how it sounds. His grandson Jordan, the raccoon hunter, also a cop, very proud of him. Him and his buddy trap raccoons, and then they will eat
I think
them
they
up
sell the
tonight.
hide.
To sell, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And
The
then
raccoon.
they brought like 3 or 4. They had to up it. They didn't have enough last year. But Grandpa just so excited. It hadn't happened for a long time, and then they did it
Oh.
last year,
Okay.
and now they're doing it again. Grandpa says it's the last one though, so it's
Oh.
actually an honor if you
It
got an
is,
invite.
Yeah, and I bet while you're there, I'm sure the Raccoon Feed picture book will be there.
There
and
is a picture book.
You could look through all the pictures of previous ones.
Okay. All right.
So when you read Raccoon Feed, would you
was-
just think that was a
Like
weird
maybe
name
you're gonna
for a
like
party?
feed raccoons.
I was just kind
or-
of hoping it was not necessarily raccoon, like eating raccoon, but like I've never eaten raccoon, so I don't know. I've heard it's actually pretty good. It's kind of fatty, but pretty good.
Grandpa, I've heard he has a great recipe. We wouldn't know though, because this is stag.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he makes that clear. Like,
yeah. We are not
females are not allowed. No.
Yeah.
No.
And
Grandma
when-
Coos, nope.
When Caden was little, so Caden's
nephew.
like he graduated high school already, but Grandma was upstairs, and he came upstairs and he said, "Grandma, what are you doing here? I thought Goyles weren't invited."
That's awesome.
It was cute.
I've eaten Stranger Things, so I mean, it's
Wow.
not like when I was down in Guatemala, I ate in the same meal. I ate guinea pig
Oh.
and shark.
It is like a guiney pig is like a delicacy.
Not
Yeah.
like a
Yes.
pet. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were really like
I
excited.
learned
about
that on 90 Day Fiance.
it. 90 Day Fiance. You two, what you watching? I don't know.
We watch kind of opposite though.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. But I like a good documentary.
So
just watch sports,
you're
so.
going to a coon feed.
I'm going to
tonight.
Green Feed, and
Did you
want to
say like no thank you?
I kind of wanted to clarify, like, is this a really raccoon? But I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. And see
No,
what
I can't
happens.
relate because if it was something with someone I didn't know, like
Yeah, that'd be my nightmare.
like
I
it
would
wasn't
never
like
go.
a very very close person to me, and I had no idea what was happening. No, I wouldn't be going.
Well, I'm going.
Mr. Fun over there.
Wish me luck.
I will. I think you might have fun though.
Yeah, because it's
All the
more
gross-
about the socialization.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more about
Yeah, we
wouldn't
wouldn't know. Like,
yeah,
we
there might
can't
be
wait.
you might be walking into something crazy.
You're all about it.
We wouldn't know. Not invited.
All right, I'll let you
I know there are
Stay tuned for.
Hawaiian shirts involved.
Really?
That's all I'll say.
Huh? Should I take my Hawaiian shirt?
Yes. Oh, yeah. My dad would love you even more.
Put
Yeah.
it on over my clerics.
Yes. Do you have like a
A
yeah,
Hawaiian investment.
wear your wildest?
I do have one Hawaiian shirt, so
Yeah, bring that with. They would love that. That'd be funny.
okay, good to know.
Wow, now you're going to a coon feed in a Hawaiian shirt. It's getting better and better.
Better and better all the time. So
Can you relate? Ooh, nope. I'm with Katie. Would never go to that. Pretend like I never saw that text.
Yeah, very busy that night.
Shoot, I'd love to. I have mass.
My can you relate? So this week is state basketball in Des Moines, and whenever I travel to Des Moines, I feel like I have to have like the same snacks in the car. Like there are certain snacks that I have to make.
Do you think this
For-
is for state or just the city of Des Moines? Like this
Just
feeling?
state because
State
I
snacks.
don't
Okay.
make them when we go to
the
Des Moines
fair.
for the fair.
They're state snacks.
Yep, it's just for state. I have to make oyster crackers.
I knew you were going to say
and
that.
I have to make puppy chow.
yeah.
I have to
Do you
make
think
them.
this is like nostalgia?
I have no idea. And like they're both terrible snacks. Like the puppy chow, you've got powdered sugar everywhere. And the oyster crackers, you got dill weed in your teeth and garlic breath. Like they're the worst snacks to have. But
Great party
for
snack.
some reason, I have to take them to state.
I love that.
that's
So I got all my ingredients, and so that's my. Can you?
Yeah, I
relate?
can relate to that because I
Yeah.
think it brings back like fun memories
Yeah.
as a child, and you want to just like
Right.
relive some of those good times.
Yeah. I did want to note. I don't know if you noticed the centerpiece of the table.
I did.
You know what he asked me while you were gone, and I told him, "Don't do that."
What?
He's gonna put his tea can in there,
No. So I got a new big candle.
and that was a lie. I actually encouraged him to do that, but he
No way.
didn't. Okay,
No.
go ahead.
Let's go do this.
No, don't.
She will
Bad
cry.
boy cost me $30.
What?
Yes.
Wow, 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 wow.
So I got a new candle, and I thought this could be the daytime candle.
It's got 5 wicks, so it's like 5 candles. So it's not that expensive if you think about it.
Father,
You're not
sassy.
ruining this candle. This is the good candle.
I ruined the last one.
Well, I kept it though. I thought
know.
that could be the Friday night candle or the nighttime candle.
Throw things in the night.
Yeah, you can throw things in the nighttime candle.
So you don't want me to throw anything in this one? Is that what I'm
No,
hearing? Okay.
because if you're naughty, I have bought 3 separate candles. And if you're naughty, you have to have your own candle. And I don't care what you put in your candle.
Okay.
So, would you like yellow or green?
or pink.
No,
I hear more about the flavor.
don't. No, they're not
Don't eat 'em.
edible.
The
No,
scent.
The scent. The
Okay,
scent,
well,
that's what
you
I
can
meant.
smell them and then you can decide.
Okay, all right. Color. I'm colorblind. I just.
You really are? Actually, I have a student who's colorblind, and like it actually is quite a problem.
It's difficult.
You know, the new Uno cards, they have shapes on them too now. It's like, oh, that was genius. Why
Yeah.
did that just start? That could have been done a long time ago.
But
So I was
anywho,
thinking,
so the candle drama continues.
Can you relate?
Can you relate? Yeah. Well, we are walking with you in the desert, I guess.
Yeah, we are.
This Lent. And we will see you next time.
All
We
right.
are praying for you.
And rooting for you.
God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye.